slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries, let's flow for now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow.
What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another transfer show. It's episode number 11 in the summer transfer series, and it seems like the summer's been going on forever, and it also seems like it's also not been that long at all, which I presume that's all down to the business that Manchester City have done or not done, depending on what your opinions are. So before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, please do help to support the content created here on my channel by subscribing. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. We are now only less than 700 subscribers away from my aim of 38,000 subscribers, so we can have a big push to that towards the end of the summer transfer window. Then any help towards that would be great. Also, don't forget as well, social media links, you can find them in the description or on the yellow banner if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 200 likes is the aim, and do get your thoughts in the comments below if you're watching this after the stream, or if you're watching right now, then do get your thoughts, including should Man City be in for Luis Diaz? And if yes, let me know why. And if no, also let me know why. So in the chat, we've got Emma. Much appreciated. Thanks for tuning in. Do hope you are well. Says Luis Diaz is a good player. Sports Talk, thanks for tuning in. Says Manchester City should be prioritising Wharton from Crystal Palace. Says accept 15 million for Calvin Phillips and move on. 25 million for João Cancelo. If we sign an attacker, he'd love for Man City to make a move for either Kudus from West Ham United or Kvaratskhelia over from Napoli. Says Nico O'Reilly and Rodrigo as the contingencies for Manchester City, and start to target either a Musiala or a Wirtz next summer. Maybe even have a look at Rafael Leao over at AC Milan. Much appreciated, Sports. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you for your opinions there. DJ, hello. Thanks for tuning in. Nadir, thanks for tuning in as well. Says apparently City looking at 2 players, including a Rodri backup. That has been reported today. City are looking at 2 new signings if them players are right, including having a look at that number 6, number 8 role for Manchester City. Dalton, thanks for tuning in. Says no, City shouldn't be in for Luis Diaz. We should not be signing him. He says we need more. We don't need any more cover in the wing. We need cover in central defensive midfield, cover for Rodri, and a new centre forward. The departure of Alvarez means City looking at attackers potentially, and should be using Eze as a last resort. You really don't want to be a last resort, do you? No player wants to be a last resort. City, of course, interested in signing Eze. We'll speak more about Eze in just one moment. Justin, thanks for tuning in. Nick, thanks for tuning in. Nixon, hello, thank you for tuning in. What do I think about Adam Wharton over at Crystal Palace? Good player, not quite ready. Give him another couple of seasons, but if City do want him and they think that he's right for us right now, make the move. Not too sure City will do that. We'll have to wait and see. Adrian, thanks for tuning in, says, is there anyone from the academy that can fulfill the role of the deputy to Rodri? If no, that has to be a priority position. I don't think there is anybody out there. Nico O'Reilly's probably the closest you're going to get at City right now. Maybe this is what happens when City sell all these high-quality young players like we have over the last couple of summer transfer windows. You know, players like Romeo Lavia could have been ready to have been stepping in, but City chose for the permanent sales rather than pushing on developing these players and moving from there. So we find ourselves in this hole. It is what it is. Mordecai, thanks for tuning in. Says City should have sold Haaland. That's a controversial opinion. Sold Haaland rather than Alvarez. Reckons Alvarez is a more complete player. Randy says Musiala, my dream signing. Paul, thanks for tuning in. Says use Rodrigo as our new striker and sign Water. I'm not too sure if you're on about Rodri that we've got or Rodrigo from Real Madrid. And M. Hassan says ideal backup strikers for me, in my opinion. It all depends on which players want to join and who wants the players back up. Any player that joins will have seen what's happened with Julian Alvarez and will know that they will be playing as backup. So who's happy to sit on the Manchester City bench? Unless you're an unambitious striker, the answer's going to be no one. So I think you've got to occupy that role with versatile players or young, hungry, young players who have got a point to prove. There isn't many players out there, so here we are. Nadir says, Zubamendi rejecting Liverpool. It was pretty funny. He's rejected quite a few clubs this summer. So yeah, here we are. So before I do crack on with this transfer show, we'll speak about Luis Diaz. We'll speak about Eberechi Eze. We'll speak about potential strikers for Manchester City that we could go after in this window. We'll also speak about the outs, Calvin Phillips, João Cancelo, and more. So do stay tuned for that. But first, I want to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, SofaScore. They're going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest scores throughout the new football season and the Premier League season getting underway this weekend. They're going to keep you up to date with all the latest match information, including the referees for the games, also all the other match officials, along with where the game's being played, where the game's being broadcast in your country, and much more, including the latest match statistics and analysis for you guys to check out. Very highly rated app. It is free to download. Use the link in the description or the link in the live chat or the link or the QR code, on screen. So do go and check out SofaScore. That will be much appreciated. Anyone that does download SofaScore, using my link does help to support the future content created here on my channel. I've got my promo video, which I'm going to roll for you guys right now. Thank you very much there to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. So, Nick says, Diaz transfer never happens. I agree with that. We'll speak about Diaz in 1 second. Paul says, the Brazilian striker Rodrigo from Real Madrid. Brilliant player. What game time is he going to get? He's not going to force that transfer this summer. Maybe it's something to keep an eye on next summer. He does like to play out wide. He likes to invert. I think he'd suit Manchester City. He'd cost a lot of money, but I like Rodrigo. I actually rate him more than Vinicius Jr., just to put an edgy, controversial opinion out there. He's a really good player, but keep an eye on the business that Real Madrid are doing. Vinicius Jr. has been linked with the exit door at Real Madrid right now with a move to Saudi Arabia. If that ends up happening, that gives all the game time for Rodrigo, and all of a sudden Rodrigo to Man City. Just isn't going to happen. M. Hassan, what do I think of the verdict on the 115? We've been given a date, finally. Apparently, everything's going to be heard and put forward in November. We're going to know more information by the time it gets to around January time, and more clarity is going to be given on the 115. And then by spring of next year, we'll know the verdict, where we stand, and how Man City and the Premier League are going to push going forward from there. So I don't really have an opinion on it because we don't really have the facts and everything laid out in front of us. I'm keeping a very close eye on it, of course, but I'm waiting for more information to be made available. At the moment, everything's very legal jargon, and loads of people are claiming to be experts, and they're just not experts. They're opinionative. They're putting forward what they want to happen rather than giving us the facts. And at the end of the day, Premier League think they know the facts. Man City, definitely, because it involves us, knows the facts. So it's putting them points out there and trying to defend our case, and we'll see what the verdict is going forward. I'll keep my eyes on it. If we get any developments, of course, I will be doing my videos. So, yeah, my thoughts. Maxwell, thanks for tuning in. Says, need to be going after either Bruno G or Wharton. Sports Talk says, how many players have we signed or given a chance to who weren't ready? Foden, Rico, now Nico. We should be going for Wharton at all costs, says he's raw, but easy to mould. Pep would find a job with him. I agree. I think long term, if Man City want Wharton, why wait a year or two? Make the move now. I think Man City want more information. They don't know if Wharton's going to be the next standout player or if he's going to be the next Jack Rodwell. That's what you've got to decide. And just because a player is highly rated and put into the England squad and looking good, and Palace spent, £20-odd million to sign him from Blackburn, it all points towards it being really positive for him. But things can go south very quickly, and I don't think Man City want to rush into things, so to speak. Dalton, I've not heard anything about an 18-year-old defensive midfielder from Paris Saint-Germain. Enlighten me, please. Godsent says, who is the most player I want to see at Manchester City? My opinion, Bruno Guimaraes. Moavis, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Geffin, thanks for tuning in. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Much appreciated. So let's digest everything. We're going to start off by speaking about the outs and the latest on them players. So firstly, João Cancelo, no real update. Very slow. Don't really know why it's very slow. I know Barcelona are interested. They've just splashed cash on signing Dani Olmo from RB Leipzig, 60+ million euros. Have they finished paying for Ferran Torres? Here we are. They want to loan João Cancelo. I think clubs are just playing the patient game, knowing that Man City, by the end of the window, will buckle. They don't want to pay 100% of his wages. They don't want to be paying a high loan fee. They don't want obligations to buy. They want options to buy. They want to be cheap, and this is the situation we find ourselves in. I say it every summer. I'm going to repeat it again right now for this summer as well. I just feel like Man City could do a little bit more when it comes to player sales. They're doing very well. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. City are very good at moving young players on, but it don't seem to apply it to first team players who they want to leave, and this is why we find ourselves with Calvin Phillips going through the loan market, João Cancelo going through the loan market. You've got to protect yourself. You've got to put yourselves in the strongest possible position to be letting players leave and getting a really good amount and managing them situations. And I think the easiest way of doing that is not leaving things as late as we are in the window, because we want these players to leave, like Calvin Phillips, like Issa Kabore, like João Cancelo. But until we start to sort things out a little quicker and a little bit earlier, you're putting yourselves at the risk that by the end of the window, not desperate, but you need to let these players go, and you're not getting as good of a premium as what we could. Now, it could work the other way. Could be some desperate clubs out there who are really desperate to do a little bit of business, but there doesn't seem to be anywhere near as much business being done in this window as what there normally is in previous summers. A whole host of reasons. PSR probably the biggest reason, but also you're looking at the Copa America European Championships, them going on so long, the swing between them tournaments coming to an end, and players going on holiday and then coming back for the return of the domestic leagues. You're looking at a swing of 3-4 weeks, and it's just not enough time to get loads of business done. Normally you need 8 to 12 weeks, not 3 to 4, and because of that, you're only seeing really a third, maybe half at a push of the normal deals that you're seeing. So PSR putting restrictions on there doesn't help things, and that may see an end to some panic buying in this window. And I firmly believe that's the reason why you're seeing La Liga doing more business, because they've not got them restrictions, and of course Saudi Arabia doing more business as well. Here we are. There we go. Right, so that's João Cancelo. I'm awaiting Barcelona to make the move. I think that'll come much later in the window. I'm talking like 10 to 14 days' time. Calvin Phillips, plenty of interest in him, though, coming in from Premier League teams. Fulham, Everton, Ipswich Town. They all want a loan deal. Now, to me, I think Calvin Phillips is probably going to prioritise Everton out of them three clubs because they're the biggest club, also most local to Manchester City. He doesn't have to relocate for a year, so it works out for the best interest of Calvin Phillips for him to go to Everton, and they're also probably the team that's most interested in Calvin Phillips. Now, what I'm hoping is going to happen, because it will be a loan transfer rather than a permanent transfer, is that if Ipswich or Fulham or another club are very serious about signing Calvin Phillips, if they want to leapfrog Everton in the move for him, I think Calvin Phillips would appreciate a little bit more long-term solidarity coming in from a permanent transfer. So if Ipswich Town want to sign him, pay some money, get a permanent transfer, put him on a 4 or 5 year contract, because 4 or 5 year contract is better than a 1 year loan, and he may consider relocating away from the northwest of England if he is to have something more permanent on the table. Depends how serious they are. At the moment, what I am expecting is Calvin Phillips to join Everton more than likely on a season-long loan that will free up that central defensive midfield role for Manchester City, another space in the squad, and we are ready to go. But we are letting a homegrown player leave, so we may want to keep an eye on homegrown players. That opens up the door for an Adam Wharton and or an Eberechi Eze, so we will see. So, moving on from there, because we don't really have too much else happening in the outs right now. Ashley, thanks for tuning in. Bernardo Silva stays. He won't be leaving Manchester City this summer, and much appreciated. Thanks for tuning in and leaving your thoughts. Nick as well. Roger, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Is there anybody else? Dalton, Maxwell, much appreciated as well. MCFC, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Asks, am I confident on Bruno G? Not confident. He's the player I'd like to see at City. Not confident it'll happen. Very expensive transfer. With the short space of time that we're looking at, I would hope that City would get the ball rolling, but we need Calvin Phillips to leave first. We need something more concrete than clubs interested. We need clubs to start making offers for Calvin Phillips. Maybe then that might get the ball rolling. At the moment, City hesitating and continuing to hesitate in this window. Strange one. Caleb, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. So, on to the juicy ins. We'll start by speaking about... who should we start with? We'll go with Rodrigo first from Real Madrid. At the moment, we know he's buttering up Manchester City. We know he likes Manchester City. He likes the way we play. Thinks we're the best team in the world. Strange comments to make when you're playing for Real Madrid. But I think it is just that. I think it's just... nice comments being made by Rodrigo. I think City, if he was available, would be interested. We wouldn't be the only big European club interested in signing Rodrigo. There'd be interest coming in from around the world with unholy amounts of money being chucked at that transfer. So I don't think that transfer will happen. Definitely not this summer. I don't see that transfer happening ever. If I'm being completely honest, I'd say you're probably looking at like a 5% chance and 95% not as of right now. As much as I'd love him at Manchester City, I just don't see it happening with lots of different variables being involved as to why I think that won't happen, including probably the most important is I don't think he wants to leave Real Madrid. Moving on from there, we'll speak about Luis Diaz now, where we saw strong links coming in from El Chiringuito TV yesterday afternoon. It was very short-lived, less than an hour. They were saying that Man City were prepared to offer Liverpool €70 million, so just over £60 million, to try and sign Luis Diaz, that we had personal terms agreed with the player's camp, with his agent, and we had a 5-year contract ready for Luis Diaz to sign. And then it was quickly dismissed by Sam Lee and also by Fabrizio Romano, if you want a little bit of reliability being scrubbed on there. And it's a very strange transfer to come out. Rumours, they always happen in the transfer window, but it was pretty reliable information putting the neck on the line from El Chiringuito TV to put it forward and say this is the case and this is what's happening. And to me, just didn't make any sense. A left winger from Liverpool, firstly, I don't think Liverpool would sell to us. Second of all, Luis Diaz, I don't think he's going to leave Liverpool this summer. Third of all, he plays on the left wing. We don't need a left winger. We've got Doku, we've got Grealish, we've got Foden, we've got Savinho, we've got Oscar Bob. That position is stacked. It just doesn't need to happen. Now, if he can play as a second striker in a false nine, I'd say yeah. But he doesn't. He's a quick attacking winger, which Man City just don't need. So I don't really get why that transfer was rumoured to be happening. I don't know whether there was maybe a loss in translation, but the whole news story was just so weird and strange. It was so accurate. It was so pinpoint. It was just incredibly specific. And yeah, no, not happening. You can see right through it. When you've covered transfers as long as I have here on YouTube with City, you can just kind of lead through different sources. You know which sources to be that can be relied upon, and you can just kind of cut your way through the BS, and it just stands out as being top tier BS being reported from Spain. Not happening. Luis Diaz to Manchester City. Again, like the Rodrigo transfer, for a whole variety of reasons, it's just not going to happen. It just isn't realistic. But what might be a little bit more realistic is somebody like Eberechi Eze from Crystal Palace. But City have been very hesitant on this transfer. We know City are interested for the previous 12 months. We know he's got a release clause of £60 million. We know we'd like an attacker who can play and lead the front of the line, can play in that false nine, can help occupy out wide on the left, on the right, and through the centre, and can play in central midfield. And Eberechi Eze covers and ticks all them boxes. I think Man City maybe have a bit of a question mark about, is that the kind of player they want to be making a move for? I don't think Man City have got enough time to make that decision, and I think just speculating here, but I think City will give themselves another 12 months and come back to this. I know we were saying City signing 2 players, central defensive midfielder and a Julian Alvarez replacement. I just don't think City will go down that route, and I think if it is to be a backup striker that we sign, it'll either be a player that's currently very cheap, or a player that will be a little bit more temporary, like a loan, or a player signing on a free with a 1 or 2 year deal, which just isn't normally how City do things. So I can see City maybe just holding back from that end unless something does come available in the next couple of weeks, and instead focusing all their attention towards looking to make a move for that Rodri backup, that number 6, number 8 player that we really desperately need in our squad. And Adam Wharton definitely got to be an option there for Manchester City, mainly down to how injury-prone John Stones is. You need another good option for him, and letting Calvin Phillips leave and bringing someone like Adam Wharton, to me, would make sense. Not sure how much Palace would be looking for him. Bruno G, it could be a doable transfer, but, we'd have to spend big very quickly. Like, I'm talking £100 million for Bruno G. Is it value for money? Well, City haven't done that much business. We could spend £100 million on Bruno G and still look very positive in terms of our net spend. Man City are confident that they could sign Bruno G, but I don't think he wants to leave Newcastle. It makes that very complicated. Kimmich could be an option. We know that he wants to leave Bayern Munich. There's a whole host of names being chucked out there. But at the moment, Man City has been put in the live chat. City have been very hesitant, been very reluctant to do any business in this window, and it just doesn't really make much sense. We brought in Savinho nice and early before the summer transfer windows even happened. We're at the end game now in terms of the outgoings at Manchester City, and we've just not got that much time to get sorted to bring in at least 1, maybe 2 more players. So it's all about which players are available and who do Man City want to make a move for. And I think City are just trying to keep them options open for as long as possible, and it drags out the summer transfer window. Some could suggest it's boring. I've been suggesting all summer that it's very interesting. So we will see what direction we want to go in. But if you was asking me, if I were in charge at City right now, I'd be pushing them Calvin Phillips and Cancelo sailed by the end of this week, and I'd be getting the ball rolling on a central defensive midfielder. If it's not Bruno G, it's Adam Wharton. You get one or the other done, added into the squad, and then you keep your options open about an attacker. Do you want to go with a striker? Is there anyone good and available? If not, are you happy to go with Eze? If not, you hold back and you make an announcement very quickly, just so you're not getting people's hopes up and saying that's us done and dusted in the window right now. We're going to assess again in 12 months' time, because at the moment the City squad is very good. It's just lacking a couple of bits of numbers in there, which City have been filling these gaps in with high-quality young players like Wilson Esperon, players like James McAtee, players like Nico O'Reilly, Rico Lewis, Oscar Bob, all very good, high-quality young players who can provide competitive squad depth for Manchester City, and one or two of them young players will be looking for more regular minutes and more starts as well. So we will see what direction it does go in for Manchester City. It's very interesting. It's very coy from me. I feel like I'm sitting on the fence, but I've got nothing to provide and offer with. There's things coming out, there's stuff being reported. I'm keeping up to date with it every single day, but at the moment, it's like the Titanic turning at the moment with Man City in the window, and it can be very frustrating. I get very frustrated, but here we are. Terminator, thanks for tuning in. Lost, thanks for tuning in. Cancelo, I don't expect him to stay. Ethan, Evan Ferguson, very expensive. Don't see Evan Ferguson being happy about sitting on Man City's bench either. We'll see. I wonder if Man City might take one of the bench players in the Premier League and bring them over to our bench instead. Not too sure who that could be. We'll see. Chelsea could get very desperate about selling players, considering how massive their squad is. Is there anyone from Chelsea that anyone would be interested in? I imagine Chelsea would be pretty interested in some outgoings. They're a bit of a mess when it comes to transfers right now. Quack, thanks for tuning in. Renell, thanks for tuning in. Ronald, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. I do apologise if I have missed anybody else. Roger as well. Thank you for tuning in. Big shout out to all you guys. Thank you everybody for that's interacted with me today. Don't forget, leave a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Ethan, timeout. Not Nicholas Jackson. Not Nicholas Jackson. Abdullah, hi, thanks for tuning in. Says Jonathan David. Good shout there. So yeah, do let me know your thoughts in the live chat if you're still live, or in the comments below after this stream. Also, don't forget as well to subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Remember, daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout the whole rest of this summer transfer window. City looking to do business, so you're going to want to keep up to date every single day. Do subscribe. Also, don't forget as well, social media links, they're in the description. If you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, email also in the description too. If you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. Thank you to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. Go and check them out. Links and details there in the description. And I will see you guys all again real soon for the next live JSGC transfer show, which will be next week, or for my transfer updates, which are running daily on my YouTube channel. So do subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all real soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take it easy. I hope everyone is safe and well. And Dave, thanks for tuning in as well. Much appreciated. Peace. Ciao for now.